The delayed launch of the Google Assistant for the Galaxy Watch 4 has been highly anticipated, so now that it is available, we've gone hands-on to find out if it is a massive step up or if it's just more of the same. Thanks for watching 9to5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. So now that the Assistant is available for the Watch 4 on the Watch 4 Classic, you can't just go into settings and enable the feature. There is an element of work that needs to go in to get things up and running correctly. You'll actually need to go ahead to the Google Play Store from your watch. You can do this from desktop as well and download the Assistant to your device. Somewhat strangely though, you may see that the store list in itself asks you to update the app rather than install it wholesale, and this does hint that Wear OS 3 includes a number of prerequisites already, and this merely activates the feature, but alas, we simply don't know for certain at this stage. Around 11 megabytes in size, it is fairly small and it shouldn't negatively impact your on-device storage. So once this is downloaded, you can just open this freshly installed app and it will actually guide you to your smartphone, so you'll need to have that handy. There you'll need to follow a setup process to enable the feature on your wrist. If you have voice match enabled on your Google account, then you can actually pass through the process pretty quickly and seamlessly. And if you're happy using the popular, I'm not going to say these out loud, wait commands, then you do not need to do anything else at this point. You can quickly enable the Google Assistant though using the Watch 4 side buttons if you do prefer that, by heading to settings on your watch itself, then advanced features and customize keys. Then you can use the press and hold option or the simple single tap. This new section within the press and hold option will have a new assistant option that you can enable with a long press of that upper side button on your smartwatch. If you preferred this over the traditional wake up command, and this is something we would suggest to most people out there, especially if you have multiple Google Home and Nest Hub devices in your vicinity. If you have previously used Bixby as well on your Watch 4, we'd actually suggest disabling the voice wake up feature if you are intent on using the Assistant on your smartwatch over Bixby. It's not entirely clear to us, but some voice commands can be slow to register if Bixby voice activation is active, and disabling this alternative voice assistant at least appears to have helped in speech recognition and speed. So we highly suggest you do that rather than having two conflicting services running on your watch at one time. If you're wondering what you can do with the Assistant, well, here's the good news. Anything that you can ordinarily do with a Google Assistant connected device can now be done from your wrist. This includes controlling smart home tech, setting reminders, sending messages, initiating a phone call, and asking general queries on top of that, plus much more. Unlike on older Wear OS watches, the Galaxy Watch 4 includes more information as well and is just visually more impressive than it ever has been before, at least Google Assistant on this form factor. And it's certainly a proper extension of the Assistant experience that you'll see on smartphones and tablets, but now at a much smaller scale. Do things like ask for directions with Google Maps and you'll get a micro image of the directions, or ask for the age of your favourite Hollywood actor and you'll get extra details and maybe even a photo attached. It is nothing groundbreaking and some of this isn't actually new so far as the Assistant is concerned, but this extension helps create experience cohesion from device to device, and that's something that we think Google is seriously looking for with this new updated Assistant for the Watch 4. You're probably wondering, how does it compare though to the Google Assistant on Wear OS 2.0 and older versions? Well, Google has made a fairly bold claim that the Assistant on Galaxy Watch 4 offers faster than ever response times. In our experience though, that isn't actually true, as you can now see on screen side by side. Sure, Assistant results are certainly more information dense and rich responses are more visually impressive. However, the speeds are fairly similar on the TicWatch Pro 3 running here with Wear OS 2.34, but of course without the added visual elements. We tested a number of common commands like asking about the current weather conditions, setting an alarm, getting answers to a number of basic search queries, some driving directions, and even sending an SMS message to a contact. In most cases, the older TicWatch Pro 3 actually kept pace, and in more than a few instances, it actually managed to return common queries faster than the Galaxy Watch 4. That's disappointing to say the least, but in our brief testing, it seems that when the Galaxy Watch 4 is processing voice commands, or at least fetching results from externally, like from Google Search for instance, there is a hang on the newer smartwatch that is reminiscent of the Nest Hub series that you may have used previously. As each word or phrase appears on screen, the time it takes to initiate the Google Assistant on the Watch 4 appeared to take longer during our hands-on process. Of course, on the older version of Wear OS, you can't always move from one command to another without interacting with the display either. This does give the Watch 4 a minor advantage, as you can actually fully stay hands-free when making commands with your voice. Annoyingly though, if you make a repeat command, such as attempting to set an alarm for the same time as a previously set alarm, you'll actually get no visual or audio feedback with this new version. Often we were left confused as the watch appeared to fail in registering just what had been asked of the assistant, and you just get the assistant microphone logo appearing. In actual fact, it had simply prevented a repeat action from taking place, and we're hoping this is something that can be fixed in future. Also, on top of that, we mentioned disabling the voice wake-up feature for Bixby initially, as this made a difference to the voice recognition speeds in our experience, but not necessarily to the point where the Galaxy Watch 4 is exponentially faster than previous Wear OS generations. We are hoping that Samsung and Google can improve or tweak this with updates, as those initial speed improvement claims simply don't hold up, at least in our experience. That said, a few seconds here and there probably won't matter to most people, and while the Google Assistant coming to the best Wear OS watch on the market is probably going to be a far bigger deal than having to wait a little while, and as we said, the speeds are pretty much fine. Bixby itself, this is a fine alternative, but it lacks the ability to answer questions and queries that require Google's powerful search. At least now, you have another option right at your disposal on your wristwatch. We're certainly hoping that we get faster on-device processing. This also raises something that we've been thinking about, and we're hoping that we get faster on-device processing with the upcoming Pixel Watch. It would really be disappointing if the processing speed remains this average. Let's hope that we do get faster on-device processing with that upcoming device. For now though, this is the only way to experience that long-awaited, full-fat Google Assistant on a wearable, and to sum it up in 2 words, it's fine. I want to ask you though, have you tried it out yet for yourself? The Assistant is currently limited to just 10 countries, including Australia, Canada, France, Germany, the Republic of Ireland, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, the UK and the USA. But it does actually support 12 languages, which include Danish, English, including the American, Canadian, UK, Australian and Irish dialects, Japanese, Korean, Spanish, French in the Canadian and French dialects, and Taiwanese. You will find a download link in the description if you haven't yet tried it out for yourself, and that might help you find this a little bit easier. I want to just briefly say that let us know if you're having any experiences different to what we have had. It's really interesting to hear how people have had variations in processing speed from device to device. As always though, until next time, this is Damien with 9to5Google saying thanks for watching, and I will speak to you later.